Welcome back. If you just launched your podcast 2026 and you're stuck refreshing your stats every time you open your phone, every time you go on YouTube, wherever you put your podcast, and you're just obsessed with the numbers and you want to not be, this video is for you because I know what that feels like. You upload an episode, you check your downloads, you check them again, you check them again, you refresh again, and suddenly your mood is tied to a number on the screen. Let me say this gently but clearly. Checking your downloads right now within the first 3 months of you launching your podcast is not helping you. Now, let me explain why and what to focus on instead. Because those early numbers mess with your head. Early podcast numbers don't tell you the truth. They're incomplete, they're delayed, they're inconsistent, and they're emotionally loud. Remember what I said in my last video? Words talk, numbers scream. Remember that. It's very important. When you're new, every number feels like feedback about you, your voice, your message, your worth, but it's not. Downloads in the early stage are mostly about platform delay, discoverability lag, listener habits, and time, not talent. Remember when I first started, I had a great boom in podcasts. I thought it was going to be that way forever. When I started Ball Boy Talk, my very first podcast, man, I thought that was gonna take off because I would do like 100 per episode. My TikToks would get multiple comments. I would be engaging with people. I'd always have new video topics to talk about. People would come to me, ask for my take, things like that, and made me feel like I really mattered. Made me feel super important. But then views, I wasn't as discoverable. Views went down. Podcast listen downloads went down. I'm over here thinking, what? Why? And I'm checking my stats, checking my stats, checking my stats. When I launched Young Dad Podcast, man, first off, I'm seeing all these great comments, all these great engagements. I'm seeing great stuff like, yes, yes, yes. I'm doing so good. I checked so many times during the day. Checked YouTube. I checked Spotify. I would check everywhere I could find numbers. I would check. If I saw a new site about numbers, I'd go and check that to see how I ranked. I would find everything I could early on. Gosh, that messed with me. That messed with me. It affected how motivated I was on a regular basis because if I saw the numbers dip, man, I'd just be like, "Why am I doing this? What's the point? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep showing up? No one's listening." And when I realized it wasn't healthy or helpful, I wanna say that probably took at least a year to where I was listening to something and I realized these numbers don't really matter that much because I'm not in it for the numbers. I'm not in it for that part of it. Yes, the numbers come, they go up, they go down. It is what it is. That's just part of the game that we're playing. But I realized, like, why am I checking these numbers so much? Like, they don't matter. Like, these numbers could be like, yes, I could have a great boom one day. I could have a slow week. I could have a great month. I could have a bad month. Like, so great. But like, I, for me personally, now you might be different, but for me personally, like, it didn't matter because like those numbers aren't paying my bills anyways. And so I wasn't really that committed to them. I thought it was cool, I thought it was fun, I thought it was engaging, and I'm like, "This is just a big waste of time. I'm checking them too much, and it's bugging me. I need to stop worrying about it, like, these numbers don't matter." And then I saw a Gary Vee post, and you may have seen the same one on Instagram, where you make a video, you get 10 views, and it feels like you're talking to no one, but then you reframe it, and it looks like you're sitting at a conference room full of people, of 10 people in a room. That perspective changes everything for anyone. So when you obsess over downloads too early, a few things happen. They're not good. You start questioning your ideas. Been there, done that. You second guess your format. Been there, done that. You lose confidence in your voice. Been there, done that. You think about quitting before you even gotten started. Sounds familiar? A lot of reason why podcasters quit before episode 10 is these exact things right here. And here's the worst part. You start making reactive decisions instead of intentional, proactive decisions. I see this with people all the time. They want to change the show name, change the niche, change the format, change the posting schedule, not because something's broken, but because they're anxious. And I've done this. I've pivoted too many times. I've changed the logo of Young Dad Podcast too many times early on. I've been on this recent one for Young Dad podcast for, shoot, I don't know, a long time. You know exactly what it is when you see it. Nothing changes too much. I've added in too many things along the way, changing the niche, changing the format, changing the posting schedule. Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, down to 2, down to 1, all these ups and downs and fluctuations that didn't help. And really, once I slowed down and I really realized, you know what, this is a once a week show because that's what I can handle. I can handle once a week posting a picture, a promo picture, some short clips, maybe 3 or 4 a week, and really just slowing down and realizing, hey, this is what's going to work. Not because something was broken, but I was anxious. I was anxious to try to get out there, follow all the trends, follow all the numbers, post twice a week, post every day, do this every day, do this because of some guru that thinks they know everything on about Instagram says to make sure you're posting this many times a week and this many times a day. Some other person that does a podcast or some coach or someone says, oh, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. No, do it what works for you. That's the most important part of all this. I started doing what works for me, and guess what? I'm a lot happier. My ideas are better. My conversations are better. And I'm a lot more consistent with everything I do too. And this is a reframe that I want you to adopt. Early downloads are not feedback. They're just data, but very noisy data at that. Your podcast isn't being judged yet. It's being indexed, it's being processed, and slowly discovered. Again, this is a quiet phase in the podcast world. It feels loud. It's actually very quiet. And that quiet is giving you space to find your rhythm, get your reps in, get better on the mic, experiment without pressure, build consistency. And that's where real growth starts. So instead of checking downloads every single day, multiple times a day, throughout the day, every time you pick up your phone, I want you to track 4 things instead. Consistency. Did I publish when I said I would? Comfort. Did I feel more relaxed than last episode? Were my shoulders less tense? Was my jaw less tense? Did I talk a little bit slower? Did I deliver my message a little clearer than before? So 3, clarity. And 4, commitment. Did I show up even when motivation dropped out a little bit, even when it declined? Did I still show up? Did I still record that podcast? Did I keep to my schedule I gave myself? Did I stay on it? Again, it goes with consistency. These are the metrics that I focus on with clients in the early stage, right when we're starting, right when we're launching. Because if these improve, growth eventually follows. But you're probably curious, when do downloads actually start to matter, Jay? Well, let me be clear. Downloads do matter, just not yet. I usually tell new podcasters, don't evaluate your numbers until you publish at least 15 to 20 episodes. By then, patterns emerge, your voice settles, your audience has time to find you. The data actually means something. But if you're posting once a week for 20 episodes, you're probably looking at 4 or 5 months down the road before you really start to see anything. Before that, it's all just noise, unnecessary noise that doesn't really mean anything. And if you're thinking, I know this logically, but I spiral emotionally, that's normal. Don't worry about that. And that's why my podcast coaching program exists to help podcasters stay grounded, focused, and confident during this phase. Not by ignoring numbers, but by understanding when to look at them and how to interpret them. You don't need more pressure right now. You need perspective. You need reframe. You need to think about these things just a little bit differently. So if this video has helped you, comment me one thing. How often are you checking your downloads right now? I check about once every 2, 3 days. I check it, I look at it, I go, I've had a good few days. Close it, move on with my day. Back to work, finish my break, back to whatever I'm doing at home. I don't sit there and dwell on it. I'm like, cool, that's where we're at. Good to know. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Be honest. Feel free to be honest in the comment. And if you launched a podcast in 2026 so far, hit subscribe. This series that we're on right now, we're in week 2 of this series, so there's still 2 more weeks this month in January. This series is built to support you after launch when things feel quiet, uncertain, and emotionally loud. You're not doing this wrong. You're just early. I'll see you in the next one.